to our first pair. Risk, Harry, you guys there? It would be great to chat right now. There we go, their voices. Oh, and we've got them on screen.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Welcome to the event. How's it going back there?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's very bright, but yeah, aside from that, and like you said, I mean, I got Risk here. He's phenomenal. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm looking forward to getting into this game. Of course, Na'Vi being the big favorites, but also Amanek and Devodek, the two French guys coming into this international team, as the desk talked about. It's gonna be really exciting to see how they're gonna play out.
Yeah, well, it looks like you guys already... Don't they have good chemistry? Look at them sitting next to each other, smiling. We've got Britain and Denmark to get... Oh, look at that. That's so cute. Are you guys excited to be... Have you casted
I'm sure they're
together?
kissing when the cameras go off.
Have you guys casted together before? I'm really looking forward to seeing...
We casted
like literally once.
One best of one.
Literally once, but it's great. I mean, Risk is phenomenal. He's like Na'Vi, just so easy to work with. So yeah, that's perhaps a hint of my prediction as well. I figured that we'd get in on the prediction game too.
Of course,
right?
Go ahead, guys. Please
see
do.
who is better, the analyst desk or the casters? Risk. How about you?
I agree with the analyst desk.
Yeah,
so
we both
hard.
agree. That's the kind of one issue.
Yeah.
So we're going to say Na'Vi as well.
Well, guys, feel free to take it away completely because the floor is yours now and that match is ready to go.
Yeah, so, I do think as we head into this, Risk, there's a lot that we had to take a look at. Learning the map vetoes was really the thing that would have made or broke this for me personally. And, it coming out on Train was something that surprised us both.
Yeah, definitely. Also because you know that Na'Vi is such a good team on Train. And, it's going to also come down to this knife round because if they get that CT start, Na'Vi on CT are so good. They have, an 85.7 win rate on this map, and most of that comes from their CT side. So if they get that CT start, if they win the pistol round, I don't have a lot of arguments for Misfits, to be honest.
I mean, that's kind of one of the issues, right? When we look at it, their worst maps, that's one thing that you can kind of work around with Na'Vi is that they have got those 3 maps they just can't touch. So providing you can try and get on one of them, we could have seen an upset. But Misfits, they didn't want to do that. They wanted to try play Train, which is, their best map. And arguably there's kind of 2 ways you can go around doing this. And that's you either pick the worst, which, they could have done, or you go for your best. And they've made the decision to go with their better map, which is Train, which coincidentally is probably Na'Vi's best map. So
it's definitely one of their best maps, to be honest. And it's a map that suits them very well, also because they have, of course, as they talked about on the desk, Guardian, a star AWP player, has of course had the injury back in the day, but now coming back and trying to really develop into this role again as one of the best AWP players in the world. And Train is the best map in the map pool to showcase that AWP talent. And he's going to be up against Jasam, as they mentioned, not really one that we rate so highly. Nata definitely didn't speak too positively about him, but then again, that's going to be a duel that Guardian is going to look to win every single time.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a map that's so dominated by that AWPing role, and the only chance they really have, I would say, is for example, if Guardian doesn't show up, and that's something that, we're not too used to seeing. He has been a little bit shaky here and there in the past, but for the most part, he's someone you can look to be very consistent. As Pimp brought up as well, Flamey being someone who I always enjoy watching, especially on a map like Train. I think he's someone who, does come in quite underrated, but he is kind of that stable backbone of the team who can be there to pick things up if anyone isn't really having it.
I actually do agree. I think Flamey's the most consistent on that team, of all the players, because him and Edward are kind of the players who don't really top frag all the time, but they always have a consistent performance. Simple, of course, either goes off and absolutely wrecks someone, or he has that one game out of 10 where he just doesn't do anything. But if he doesn't, if he ends up in a position where he's just going to go off, there's not much to do for Misfits, because I think Simple will win an aim duel with every player on the opponent team 9 out of 10 times easy. So it's going to be hard if Flame is on fire and if Guardian's on fire with the AWP.
Yeah, so coming into this, what map would you have said, and this is a bit wacky and out there, but what map would you have said that Misfits would have been their best shot here?
Oh, definitely Nuke, because that's the worst map of Na'Vi. But of course, Na'Vi, they're not stupid.
They're not going to let that through, right?
They of course do as they usually do and ban Cash first, and then they go for Nuke ban as the second one. So, there's not much you can do with those 2 maps out, because the remaining maps, they're actually quite decent on.
Yeah, definitely. And, the other thing that we really do have to kind of take into account is the fact of the results that we have seen from Misfits. While they have looked, fairly decent online, really we haven't seen them in this LAN setting too much. They've had a couple of switch up now. They do have the Frenchman in there. And whilst things have looked positive, we're now going to be seeing them, facing up against a tier 1 opponent who, quite frankly, is this is going to really set the bar.
Okay, and here we go.
Yeah, we are going to be heading straight into this. We can see that we've got Na'Vi over on this CT side. Misfits Well, they're going to be taking that bomb down and over towards Ivy to kickstart this pistol round. 2 players over at B. For the time being, they're just holding their ground, playing things safe. Not going to be peeking on out into Na'Vi just yet.
It's Simple holding that angle on the Ivy. And let's see if he's going to get anything out of it. Goes for the peek, gets the first one. Simple taken out there. Shazam is the one to get the frag. And now Guardian smoked out, holding the Ivy, rotating back.
Yeah, push going to be coming on through. Bomb actually going to be the on the back of Shazam there as they try and make something happen in towards this A bomb side. But it looks like 6 minutes to make his way on up. But actually, he's going to go down as Edward and Guardian. They find 2 frags between them. And the frags just going back and forth. Ultimately mean that Amanek and Shazam, they're still alive and kicking, trying to make this work. But as Shazam falls, it is all going to be on Amanek. 2 HP in a Dream. And Guardian will be quick to deliver him on it to death. And that'll be Na'Vi there to find the pistol round on the CT side.
Oh yeah, and then that pistol round went exactly as you probably would expect it. Simple goes for an aggressive duel, trades 1-for-1 to the beginning. Actually, I think he could have taken 2 frags from that situation even. So, as you would expect, individual duels, the aim is just stronger on the Na'Vi side, as like all the stats tells us and all the like recent games tells us. So it's not too much of an upset here. Right now, UMP 45s, 1 M4, that's going to be unseized, and then pistols, armor, and a little bit of utility on the Misfits side. So they're probably going to do a setup. Right now, they're situating around the Ivy, so they're going to do probably a split A, but it all comes down to the smokes. But Na'Vi are ready, they have the UMP's close range.
Yeah, they've already counted this brilliantly. 2 players aggressively up towards A main, but it's Guardian to peek on out and find the first hit, but it's going to hit the deck. And well, over here towards this B bomb site, there's a little bit of pressure coming on in as Sick tries to work his way in through the smoke. He's going to be caught looking the wrong way. And actually, Sick, he's just walked on out to the site. He could try and do some damage here as C's just going to hit the dirt very plain and easy as that B bomb site going to get opened on up. This is perfect here for Misfits. They rotate that bomb around. Sean Guerres trying to bring it in towards this B bomb site. Emanek and Sick looking to take the aggression, pushing on up, taking these duels, and down goes Sick. He was kind of the player who could have made all the difference there, but as Edward finds him on the entry, it's going to be very, very tricky for Misfits to hold on to this bomb site. Bomb is down and ticking away, and these UMPs ready to roar into action. Good bit utility left for Na'Vi to expend as well as they come pushing on in. Emanek looking to try and hold this off. Does find the first. Sean Guerres going to go down, and Emanek close to follow. It's all on Shazam. Finds that first with the D, but he's still got 2 more left to find in the form of Edward and Simple, and he will go down. Na'Vi, they're going to pick up that second, but the bomb at least does go down for Misfits.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the bomb going down, if Sick could have hold that position instead of like getting more aggressive into CT spawn, that would probably have been better for the round, because if he gets into CT and can hold that angle, and the remaining players hold the bomb site close range with the Tech 9s, where they can just hold an angle and almost win the duel every single time, that could have been a possibility. He goes too far and kind of like outplays himself in a bit and gets taken out early on in a duel where he should probably have won, because he has the M4 and he has the head armor as well from his buy. So, but yeah, it doesn't work out in the end. In the end, it's going to be Na'Vi taking up yet another round now, a full eco almost. For Misfits, it's going to be, of course, the wonderful P250 play for the terrorists.
Yeah, but Simple, he wants some frags, and he might just find them as he waits with bated breath over here towards Ivy there. Is Guardian close by as well? The dynamic duo of Na'Vi ready, posted on up. Emanek is going to be on his own. The rest of Misfits.
Wow.
Okay, there's the nade already. Not off to a great start here, as they just wait for that smoke to fade. And it will do Guardian to take that first peek as him and Simple, they look to combine, but it's Guardian to find a second. He's looking to try and make this a difficult task for Misfits to do damage. Gets a third as well, padding those stats as best he can, looking for the fourth as he plays it in through the smoke. Got to watch out because Emanek is hot on his heels, and actually doesn't matter because Flamey and Seized, they pull through, come in and pick up both of those frags. But a nice hold there from Guardian on the AWP.
Yeah.
You know, we can sometimes see these players, even with the AWP, especially those pistols, when they go for a rush like that, very easy to lose it, but not if you're Guardian. You just lock it down, take those repeaks perfectly, and he holds onto it.
And he plays it so patiently. He takes the first frag, then rotates back, repeaks, takes the second, knows that the terrorists are now too close for him to repeak a third time. He just goes back and holds a more defensive angle. And that's the sign of a really intelligent AWP player, not constantly repeaking. So Guardian, of course, living up to the fame and just playing that round perfectly, because you can be in a dangerous situation when you're up against an eco and all 5 are pushing at the same time if you have that AWP, especially if Simple goes down early on. Right now, smoke's outside. And of course, this is the first buy for Misfits. They're going to go inside.
Yeah, Emanek, going to be going down early on out towards that A bomb site already. The rest of his team pouring on in over at B, but Seized, he's still alive and in the site, playing it perfectly. Let them across, they haven't checked the angle, and he's going to rain death in with the UMP. Picking up one. Hasn't gone down just yet, but Flamey will fall to as does Seized as DreamHack and Shazam enter in towards this B bomb site, but in the blink of an eye, it is all on the lone Frenchman. 1v3, turns it into a 1-on-2. As he takes the head of Edward clean off, does find Guardian as well, looking for the third. But Simple says no, gonna shut him down, and that'll be Na'Vi to find a fourth.
Yeah, so the plan there was basically to go one guy outside, either to just do the fake or just, if he does get 1 or 2 frags, go through the connector. But the fake was just not working at all. They had 3 CT players on that bomb side, like far away, but still almost on that bomb side when the push came in. So there's not really much to do. Also, the perfect flash comes in and blinds the first T player as he drops down into the bomb side. It's really hard to get any control of that bomb side if your entry player is getting flashed as soon as he comes in. So 4-0, pistols only for Misfits. Of course, want to build that economy, so not really buying much into this round. 2 players having armor and 3 flashbangs in a smoke. It's the setup, of course. Sean Gares with a utility. He is the tactical leader of the team. Of course, backed by Peacemaker, their coach, as they talked about on the desk. Right now, just taking the time, making sure that no CTs can push up and get aggressive. Sig is just holding the angle, making sure that if someone pushes into his position, he's going to take them out cold.
Yeah, this time Na'Vi looking to try and learn from their mistakes. Have put an extra player over towards that B bomb site, but it looks like Misfits are curious as to what A holds in store for them as Shazam and DreamHack ready to make their way on in, as is Amanek and Sick over in Pop Dog. Pop Flash going to come on through, courtesy of Sean Garris. Here comes the push, but it's Edward to find the first. Looking to try and shut this down quickly and cleanly, but Amanek wants to try and make it costly as he finds 2 with the Deeg roaring into action out towards this A bomb site. But then in the blink of an eye, Flamey comes through, gets himself 3, and locks in a 5th for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and Flamey, of course, as we know, his spray is so on point most of the time. Talking about on point, look at this Deagle action. That is insane. Getting both of them in there like swimwear. 5-0 for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Amanek, one beautiful fella with the Deegan. Well, Na'Vi, they're going to be a 5-0 up. Not much pressure on these guys right now, but Shazam, he's looking to try and apply just that as he finds the first out onto Edward. Starting this round with a man advantage here for Misfits, and this is the best situation we've really seen them in quite some time. Amanek over there towards Basic, looking to try and rendezvous, but the rest of the guys...
They're rotating Flamey now. So it's only Seized on that B bomb side as of this moment, and if they go, like, push that B bomb side, it's going to be hard for them. But unlucky for Misfits, they're all situated, only Ivy. And they're going to meet up with Guardian. Actually, attacks him down to 17. So this is actually a big possibility for Misfits to get their first round on the board now.
Yeah, Guardian's had to fall on back as he does get tagged down low. A lot of pressure here on Simple to try and open this up. If they do head out over towards A, it looks like the plan is to send Sick or Amanek in through Pop. But as the bomb rotates back around, it looks like B could be well and truly within their future. Like you said earlier, Seized is the only man there, right? Yeah. So he does find himself here alone for the time being. The bomb, however, now looking curious as to what A holds in store is DreamHack going to be the player on the entry out through main. Amanek looking to try and come in through Pop Dog. Going to be facing off against Simple. And that's going to be really where this is made or broken here for Misfits. If he can lock down this one position, they lose one of the prongs in this 2-pronged attack. The bomb's actually made its way all the way over to Amanek now, so the potential could still be there to go B, but it does look like A is the site in question. Pop Flash comes in, it's Simple. He's going to go down. Sean Garris on the entry, picks up that initial frag. Now it's Flamey desperately trying to pull back the tide of battle as he finds the first. Into a 3-on-4, but quickly traded out by Sick. DreamHack to get the next. And it's all on Seized, the man in question, 1v4. In towards Connector does have a little bit of utility to play around with, and that defuse kit. Bomb's going to be ticking down. He is on the clock, looking to try and find the first, but okay. That's not how you spray the M4.
This has been a really impressive round for Misfits, to be honest, because not only did they win the duels that they took, but the duels that they took combined with how they went into the A bomb side, with that push, with the smokes, with the flashbangs, helping each other, going slowly into the side, not just bomb rushing the side and just getting their bomb down, shows that they're really thinking about what they're doing. And I think this could be one of the things that the coach Peacemaker had helped them with, because, yeah, as we know, he's one of the guys who really believes in a thought-out style. Right now, of course, only pistols for Na'Vi, playing the economical game. DreamHack pushes out, gets the first one.
Yeah, just rushing in towards this A-bomb site, looking to show no sign of remorse. Flamey does get one. He's still alive and kicking, just playing it around the smokes, playing it perfectly, but no. Shazam is not a fan of that. Takes him out, and that'll be Misfits to find themselves a second on the back of the economic reset onto Na'Vi, which, you know, Na'Vi taking 5 rounds consecutively, you wouldn't really expect them to suddenly feel the brunt of one loss so heavily. And that just kind of shows how these rounds happen a little bit closer than, you know, I think has been given credit the way Misfits. Now they find themselves with 2. They want to try and keep stringing these together to build up the economy on that T side. Na'Vi coming into this with a fairly weak buy for the most part. You do have the AWP on Guardian, but Simple being relegated down to the Mag 7, seized only on the UMP. And actually, he's solo over towards this B-bomb site, pushing on up around that smoke. Once again, Misfits turning their attention mostly over towards Ivy, but they have got a player here in the form of Amanek, who will be watching this smoke. If Seized goes aggressive, he could go down, and this could be their path paved in towards B.
Yeah, right now 2 players lining up for the B push. If they do a pop flash out now, they can either pop flash straight up or flash Seized's position, but they're actually not going to do that. He knows something is up, and he goes for the peak sick with nice duel there. Now Simple in Pop Dog with that Max 7, where it belongs.
Yeah, looking to try and make a mess in towards Pop Dog. Like you said, does have the Mag 7, so it's going to be used very, very close, up close and personal there. And actually, he's going to be just biding his time, letting them make their way towards B. They've rotated 2 players around. Flamey and Edward both on the site. Flamey got to try and hold back the tide of Misfits as they pour on through. But Flamey, he's going to do just that. Going to take 3. Looking to try and take that much more. Goes in for the 4th, but Shazam finally shuts him down. Now it's Simple as he pounces in from behind. We find it all on the lone AWPer, who takes the peek, spots out Simple, but decides he loves the man a little too much to take the shot. Na'Vi, they pick up a 6.
So big mistake in my opinion there for Misfits going into that push. Usually when you when Flamey gets this kill, you should be in there with the refrag instantly. It almost seems like there's no correct communication in this instance because they're not absolutely 100% sure of where the CT is. Instantly, if you go down, if your entry fragger goes down, you have to have a second entry to come in, get the revenge kill, and then take control of the bomb site. It almost seems like they were pushing the positions that they know that they had to do in post-plan before they were taking the guy down inside, and that's a big mistake in taking the bomb site. So definitely need to work on that communication as well. So right now, 6-2, full buy for both teams. Double up set up on the CT side, close to hitting that shot through the wall there for Guardian. But both Guardian and Seized with the AWPs.
Sick. Gonna get buried out towards this A-bomb. It's like the man advantage turn here for Na'Vi, but it's Guardian to push on up. The smoke's currently rendering him useless as he tries to peek out around them. Does have a slight gap just to peer through as they try to push in towards this A-bomb site. Guardian locked off over here towards Old House. Shazam will be able to find his colleague Flamey in towards the A-bomb site, turning it back into a 4-on-4. Bomb's going to go down. Edward still having relatively little impact from this position. Does finally pounce, finds himself a second. And in the blink of an eye, actually, it's all on Amanek over here towards Pop Dog. Bomb planted out in the open. Going to be perfect for him to cover, but you've still got the AWP on Seized, and that's going to be the perfect weapon just to dispatch of him here. I can't imagine Amanek having too much to say, but he peeks on out. And actually, a huge error in their part. Going to get himself 2, but then there's Simple, the remedy for any ailment, as he comes through there at the end and just chips away.
Oh yeah, this is actually the second time in this game that a player on the T side has been in a 1v3 and actually taken the first 2, but then Simple coming in and getting the 3rd frag. And it's a kind of risky way of playing the defuse situation and winning that in 3v1, but they get it done in the end. And also, this is the reason why Na'Vi didn't have a lot of money when they lost that first one, because almost every single round goes down to the wire. The bomb is planted or there's the duel in the end. So money is definitely going to be a problem coming into the next coming rounds if they don't win it. But I have to say, I like the decision for Misfits, going to that A-bomb site where they know it works. But of course, it didn't work out in the end for this one. 7-2.
Yeah, already they're going to be losing. Seized this time over towards that B-bomb site. Going to be, once again, kind of an area that they have to keep rotating players around into, and it does now leave them more exposed out towards A as they put both Guardian and Edward over here towards B. And you can see Misfits, they played this perfectly. They haven't pounced straight in towards B. They haven't gone for it immediately. They found that early frag. They've taken the man advantage. Now they've fallen on back, looking to try and play this more passively. And it wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see Guardian try and take some aggression here to try and spot out the potential player towards B. If he sees no one, they can rotate Edward back out towards that A-bomb site. He will be holding the close angle. But Misfits, they're already rotating background over here towards A. You can see you've got Sick down in Pop Dog. Davidovec trying to clear out Ivy as well. He has got a lot on his plate as Simple currently resides here, the beast in his lair. just waiting with bated breath to destroy the incoming push from Misfits. And while the smoke's going to go out, that will hold back Sick for the time being, but the rest of his team, they're already out on the site, going in on their own, trying to clear these angles, and they will be dispatching of Flamey. Edward now pouncing on out, finds one simple, lands the spray on a DreamHack, and Guardians rotated on round as well. It will be a 2-on-3 as Amanek and Sean Garrett is desperately trying to claw this one back, and Amanek, just the spray master, finds himself a second, but he's got to get the third once again. Same exact scenario, but this time it's a whole different beast. He finds himself 1v1 with Guardian. Bomb's gone down on the site, and Amanek playing it around the bomb train does spot him out, but now Guardian knows where he is. There's very little time left. He's got to go in for the rush, and Guardian playing it perfectly around the bomb train. You shouldn't be allowed to get away with this, Guardian, but he does. And he finds the necessary frag as well. So he does all that he had to do and more to secure that 8th for Na'Vi.
Really well played by Guardian in the end. He knows he has to play for time. He also pulls out the pistol because he has kind of idea of how low his opponent is. And in a 1v1 with an AWP against a low rifle player, you always want to use that pistol. That's just as simple as that. Amanek, though, coming in with some good frags. Usually you don't look to the Galilin around like that to get the frags, but he actually gets it done. And now, look at that, Simple actually with the shotgun, but he's not going to be the point of attention. It's going to be Seized.
Yeah, once again, sees the player in the limelight, looking to try and make it work. He's going to get 3, looking for even more, but Edward doesn't want to give him the satisfaction. Simple does chime in with 1 as well.
Auto shotgun, man. It's the new meta. Heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, you know, UMP, when that eventually gets nerfed into the heavens, you know, XM1014, watch out.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's going to be the new upcoming.
Simple already knows. He's ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah, he's setting the new trends. He's going to be keeping the auto shotgun into this one as Na'Vi do find themselves 7 rounds ahead, so not too much pressure on these guys over on the CT side already. Bomb's actually been dropped back once again. We can see from Misfits, they're looking to try and go with this pick and play style, but it hasn't really been working out for them. Normally they can find this first frag, but this time Simple going to deny them even that luxury as he gets boosted on up. Shazam just going to be guillotined early on, so they do go down a man now. They're going to be trying to play this with the disadvantage. Sean Garrett looking to rotate back around as it looks like they actually don't want to hit B anymore. They've kind of left this early on. Seized is there on his own once again, but their priority now is trying to find something to answer back out towards this A-bomb site. And I think Flamey could be the one to potentially give it to them.
But to be honest, I actually like the decision from Misfits going for the A-push, because it has been a couple of really close rounds on this bomb site, and actually also one of the ones that they've won has been on this bomb site, and the execute towards A looks actually really well drilled compared to the B execute, which didn't look impressive in my opinion. So I think the call is correct here, going for the A execute instead of the B. And I like the fact that they use the style that is usually connected to Na'Vi, the style of waiting until the last 30-20 seconds to push and then go to a bomb site. So they're kind of trying to use Na'Vi's medicine on them on themselves. And really take their style in their advantage. But right now, Flamey getting stuff done, but Sean Guess with a double.
Yeah, that's all he needed to do to try and kickstart this round. There's still 30 seconds left for them to play around with.
Here comes the smoke.
And now the smoke, going to be heading on in, but Seized, he doesn't care for smokes as he comes in through the back line, has the auto shotgun to play around with it. He's looking to try and make a mess with it. Now the push coming out towards his A-bomb site. Guardian up close to be able to find the first. Tries to fade away, and he does. He's still alive and kicking, still in the back line. 6 been allowed to cross, but Guardian comes round and gets a second frag to his name. And Na'Vi just stamping on the disembodied corpse that is Misfits in that round.
Oh yeah, definitely. But this is as we probably would have expected, because Na'Vi, a very, very talented team, train a map they're very, very good on. CT side is their best side on this map, so them being 10-2 is actually not surprising. What is surprising, in my opinion, is that Misfits has been very close to getting 2 or 3, 4 more rounds that they have right now. It's been down to 1v1s in the end. So of course, they're sad that they're down with 8 rounds, but there is something to work with here, in my opinion, for Misfits. Right now, there's not going to be much to work with since they only have the pistols. Actually, Sick getting 1 frag, and this could be the opening of something else, because he goes down for a second peek, gets Flamey.
Well, you never know. He does have the armor to play around with as well, and now he's peeking out around that smoke, looking to try and get a third, but no, Seized. Finally gets 1 in return for his fallen comrades. DreamHack, though, quick to decapitate Guardian. Does now have the AWP to play around with. He's quickly silenced by Simple, who comes in the back line. Down goes Amanek as well. And that will be Na'Vi to find themselves at 11th. But still, as you said, I mean, that was a very low investment round from Misfits. Almost everyone, just having pistols, the only kind of deviation from that was Sick, who did have the armor to play around with, and he found 2 frags. They did a lot of damage once again, and they invested next to nothing into that round.
Oh, yeah. But, like, as I said, like, Misfits, they actually have something to work with here, despite them being, like, this down low in the scoreboard. So it's good for the game and good for the tournament that one of the underdog teams actually are getting something done in this tournament, despite if just getting, like, 16-0'd and going home.
Yeah. You know, one thing that we have seen, though, is that B bomb site, normally they just have Siege there on his bottom. The thing that's been letting them down is not checking their angles heading in towards that site, and also the fast rotate, usually coming in from either Edward or Guardian. Normally the first man on the scene over there towards that B bomb site as well. Would you say that B is something they should try, maybe heading in a little bit faster? If they can capitalize on that first frag on Siege, then they get the site for free. And that's something that is so good about B, right?
What I would like them to do right now is to change the pace, as you exactly say, and go for a quick B push right now. Because in the last 3-4 rounds, they've been playing very slow and then ending up on the A-bomb side. So right now, what you usually want to do is to shock the system of your opponent and then do something that's going to surprise them. So if they go for a quick B push right now, the one thing that I really want to like emphasize here is getting that refrag in if you lose your enter fragger. That's what cost them the round last time they tried. So they have to have communication 100% on point. And of course, right now they're pulling something out of the strat book. You saw Peacemaker just there on the camera, telling the guys what to do, what the name of the game is. And also, as I said before, the name of the game of taking that B-bomb side is communication. And you have to have that on point, or else you cannot expect to get anything out of a round against Na'Vi, who are a phenomenal team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as you said, a lot of these rounds have been very close. They haven't been, you know, as clear-cut as I think everyone would have made out. When you see the Na'Vi versus Misfits kind of, you know, lineup heading into this, you definitely expect Na'Vi to be coming out leaps and bounds ahead. And
oh, yeah.
Misfits, they've thrown a lot of spanners in the work, but it's just been those tiny little problems they've been having, you know, the couple of trades they've missed, or maybe the 1 or 2 missed opportunities in around, the slight lack of communication that has been holding them back. And if they can overcome that, then we could see them find a little bit more success. But they're fast running out of time. 11-2 currently. Only 2 rounds left. The best they can hope for here is 11-4, and I think they're going to need exactly that if they stand any chance of coming back.
11-4 and a pistol round win in the second half. That's pretty much the only chance they have to keep themselves alive. But here we go back into the game. It's going to be, of course, the buy round, and it looks like at least some early aggression taking map control towards B, and it's not going to be the quick push, but they're going to take map control, and that's a good start. Right now, nothing for Simple to see. Still holding down behind the smoke on that Ivy side.
Yeah, you know, they have to have 2 players down here towards Ivy. Last time we saw Simple take it very aggressive, he came in on the flanks. They can't give that up, and as a result, that's very clearly in Misfits' mind, right? They've got 2 players here to deal with exactly that threat, but 2 players to deal with 1 man, which is Simple. Granted, he might have the force of maybe, you know, 5 or 10 men, but still, right? You can't dedicate so many resources when you're bomb and the rest of the team are all the way over towards B. The rotates coming in through Ivy, if that's where they decide to go, or if they play it safe, are going to take so long, and they could very easily be isolated. So it is a bit of a gamble having these 2 players here, especially as Guardian now takes this peek on out. And he's just going to go aggressive. He doesn't care as he goes balls to the wall, and it will pay off. He gets the first, but Sean Garris is there to return. And that's where having the 2 players there does pay off for them. Simple secures himself the AWP to play around with. Now going to be falling on back, relegating himself behind that smoke. Denying any vision, any entry opportunity just yet from Misfits down through Ivy. Sean Garrett's going to remain there for the time being, but the rest of the guys looking like now they're going to be pushing in towards B.
Yeah, and that refrag coming in on alley is one of the things that I've been talking about. You have to have down. Talking about things we have to have down. The bomb needs to go down right now because the push is going to come in. And no, it's not. It's the fake inside. And it works, apparently. It tricks not only me, but also the Na'Vi players. As the push now goes down to Pop Dog. So it's going to be an A push. A fake Flamey in position, though.
Yeah, Flamey is here, and he's the man to try and hold back the tide of Misfits. Simple on the AWP as well. Does get 1, but Shazam is there to trade things out. In comes Edward with his M4. Finds that first, but Shazam is there. Ultimately, they're going to run out of time. He does at least hold on to the AWP, but I mean, I like what they tried to do. Throwing that fake in, it tricked you. It tricked Na'Vi by the looks of things as well, who had rotated a couple of
Na'Vi
players.
had 2 CT players on that bomb side and 1 in the middle of rotating to A. So the fate technically worked.
Yeah.
The problem is if you lose your first man to the CT holding that bomb side, then it's going to be really hard to get into that because then he can call, okay, they're going down Pop Dog, and then the rest of the rotation is going to come through. If he can buy 10 seconds, then that's pretty much a 1 round. And talking about 1 rounds, Na'Vi, they have 12 of them now compared to the 2 of Misfits. Last round of the first half. Misfits, of course, buying whatever they can into this one. Na'Vi having plenty of money to spare.
Yeah, you know, the sad thing here for Misfits is it might have been close in the past, but now the pistol round just decides the outcome of this game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at Guardian. He's aggressive. He's angry.
What?
but he misses the shot somehow.
Okay.
He goes down. Shazam actually picks that up. Not sure. I mean, I thought that would have connected, just saying, Guardian, I've got your back. But yeah, the man advantage going to be taken early on by Misfits here, looking to try and pick themselves up a third on the board. Now, they've taken the man advantage early on. This time, they've rotated over towards B. They've still got 2 players watching the aggression to come out from their A-bomb site. And C's is going to be smoked off as well, so he actually has to fall on back over towards A. Bomb just biding its time for the time being. I think they're waiting to see if they can find a little extra leeway out towards one of these sites.
Oh, yeah.
They have got 2 players on either one, and at this point, I think A is probably the better site for them to try and hit, as Simple and Flamey over here towards B are certainly the dynamic duo I would not want to run into. So as Amanek hits the deck, we actually see them now rotating out towards this A-bomb site. Seized. First man on the scene, M4 in hand, but does go down to Sean Garris on the entry, who has been pulling more than his weight. Sick finds Edward as well. Simple with the AWP, trying to pull this one back into the realms of possibility. Flamey hot on his heels to try and trade things out if need be. Bomb's gone down. They've got to try and make something happen. They expend their one and only flash on that entry, and it yields them very little. Now they have no utility to play around with. They're going to employ the boost. Simple spotting up over the top of the train will go down at the hands of Sean, and then in comes Flamey as well.
All right.
Who gets completely decapitated. Misfits, they find themselves a third round, but still, it's very little in comparison to Na'Vi's 12.
But I have to give them props for that round, because what they did was they scoped kind of out okay. They tried to go one guy down towards lower, towards B, checking that out. Okay, there's at least one guy, probably also 2 guys here. Then do the quick rotate. So they're actually spending a lot of time on scoping out the map. And then when they finally make their decision, they actually go for it. And that's some of the things that I think people in general critique NAF a lot, is just doing something random, just rushing towards the side, not really having any strategies, just playing pop games, stuff like that. This actually shows a Misfits team that scope out the map, then make a final decision, and then go on that decision. And that is how Counter-Strike should be played, in my opinion. So I have to give them credit for that. There's not a lot on the scoreboard, of course, to give them credit for, but still 3 rounds. If they get the pistol, they can potentially get back into the game. If Na'Vi wins this pistol, it's probably going to be GG.
Yeah, well, yeah, the pistol round would perfectly pave them that path to get to 15 rounds, and at that point, they have arrived at map point. Misfits, there's a lot of groundwork there. The foundations are in place, and I think, we do have to look to them to kind of be a team that could be very competitive over in the NA region, but based on what we're seeing right now, it does still need a lot of refining. There's a lot of clear issues shining on through. But as we head now into the second half, we can see Misfits over on this CT side. This pistol round, the gravity of this situation is paramount, and they must be feeling it. At least sat out on the stage, pushing in towards this B-bomb site, though, and Sick, well, gonna find himself here, pinned on in. Amanek gonna go down as well, but it's Shazam to try and trade things back. Does get one at least, as Sean Garrett is chiming in with a little bit more on the flank. Shazam, got to connect these shots, doing the damage, finds himself a little bit damaged, but it's Double-Deck to pick that one up. They do turn the man advantage round, however, flipping the situation onto its head, but it's Guardian going to be the last man left alive. 1v3, trying to do the damage, peeking on out, gets one, watching the bomb plant perfectly, but Shazam going to take his head off, and there is Misfits to find a 4th.
Nice from Shazam there, getting the 3K in the pistol round on the back of actually a retake, because Na'Vi got into the bomb site, got the 2 first kills rather easy, got the bomb down, post-plant, then Sean Garris wraps in from the back, and Shazam from the back line of the B-bomb site. Sean Garris, of course, opting to go for the CZ-75 and smoke instead of kit or armor for the USP. So he actually makes that work with Shazam's 3K. It actually turns out to be a really good round for Misfits. And now they're buying up. Now they're doing the UMP 45s. They're actually doing 2 M4 rifles this one instead of 4 UMP 45s and then 1 M4 rifle. So this is going to be interesting, of course, banking on, well, there's not really much to go back on if they lose this. So they're just going to go all in, put it all on black. Not Las Vegas anymore. Probably Tor has the casino somewhere as well. Or Tor. Sorry, France.
Yeah, try not to anger a nation as well. Simple, he's been tagged down low already down to a measly 2 HP. Rest of the players like to try and make some magic happen over here towards B as they do all group on up. Simple now rejoining the rest of the flock as they wait to go on in. Six going to be hot on their heels coming up from behind, and they don't have anyone to watch it, so he could farm up some serious cash here coming in through the backline. Smoke's just waiting for them to fade over and beat. Pop flash comes through. Sean Garres, all eyes on you as him and Amanek look to try and hold this down, but the bomb does make it across, and it's going to be going down. They're going to have plenty of money to play around with now, and Edward looking to try and make things costly. Does get one, but as they just mop things up. A nice round there from Misfits, who pick up their 5th, but still the bomb goes down, and that's a bit of an error on their part.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Na'Vi wants in a round like this. They want to get that bomb down, and then we're going to have to see what kind of buy they're going to show us in the next round, but it's definitely going to be interesting. They have a lot of possibilities here. So they're going to, of course, go for the AK buy, as I expected. And Guardian with the AWP. So they're not going to run 5 AKs and do an execute heavy style. They're actually going to put an AWP on Guardian on the C side, which is something that I really like, which is the thing that I was wondering about. Are they going to do that? Because then he's not going to have utility, then they're not going to have that big of an execute potential, but they're going to play him, and they're going to try to play off his picks. And when you have an old player like Guardian, you should do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially seeing as he had the spawn here for Ivy. That smoke's going to pop and does render him useless for the time being. It looks like they're going to try and make him useful once again. They boost him up. And I mean, surely Shazam's going to be aware of this, but no, he leaps across into the waiting arms of Guardian, who capitalizes on that with no issue. The man advantage secured here for Na'Vi very early on, and Seized already worming his way through. Down in Ivy, preying on Amanek, who does go down. Seized opening this up, and well, they do lose Simple on the push over towards B, but at this point they've got plenty of time left. They know Sean Garrett is here. They've got Seized all the way into CT spawn. Unless Sick can find him, he's going to be the biggest problem that they've got to worry about, and actually Sick's a little bit late to the party. So now it's all on Seized coming on through. Sean Garrett is going to have his face removed by a 7.62 round, courtesy of the man himself on this flank. It's all on Davidovec and Sick, and well, Sick doesn't get so much as a word in edgeways. He goes down to Guardian, and it is all on the lone Frenchman. 1v4 coming on through. Does find Flamey, but he's just going to fall on back. Look to save the M4, the utility, and the armor.
Yeah, it's the best decision in this situation. He has a flashbang, a smoke, full armor, and a kit as well, along with his M4, so the correct choice is saving. Na'Vi, they're, of course, right now having a lot of confidence, so they're taking at least one player to hunt him. But as we talked about, like, getting those 2 bomb plants, of course, doing wonders for Na'Vi's economy. They can get that open Guardian, as I mentioned earlier, despite them actually not winning any of the rounds. So bomb plants, of course, making a big difference here. Davidovec will be allowed to save, so I actually thought they were going to go one at least, commit that guy to the hunt, but they're not. So M4 will survive into the next round for Misfits. And Na'Vi, of course, finding themselves on 13. They have decent money. They can get AKs on everyone, get utility on everyone, even get some utility on Guardian. Actually, Flamey's not going to have smokes, so that's going to be a point to think about coming into the round, thinking about how they're going to do their pushes. Missing a single smoke. Guardian with the AWP. Looking out for aggressive CTs.
Yeah, Sean Garrett, he's here, but things are about to get hot and heavy. Down where he is on the other side of this smoke. Little does he know it, but there's a lot of Na'Vi fresh faces waiting to ruin his day. And Amanek does find one, but the trade comes in swiftly from Guardian. This is where Sean Garrett could be lethal, as actually he does find one. Simple will go down, but Seized and Flamey looking to try and get something back.
That timing is unreal, though.
And Sick just missing his opportunity to cause some havoc. It is all on Shazam 1v3, who has been having a decent bit of impact, but still, this is a lot to ask of anyone. And, you know, coming into this with only that smoke to play around with, doesn't even have a kit. No. It's not looking good. He can't let the bomb go down, and even then, it's a tall order to begin with.
Yeah, and also, if you look at the utility on the T side, it's going to be incredibly hard. They have 2 Molotovs and smokes and flashbangs, and they're just going to clear out one of the sides. If that's clear, then they can go and plant the bomb. It's a very usual way of playing a 3v1, just having one guy go really aggressive and then clear the entire site and then go for the bomb plant when that side is cleared, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Shazam gambling, going for the A-bomb side, is of course going to be the B because they're scoping out the bomb sites before they go in, which is the way to play this. And now Shazam has to clutch it 1v3, 2 Molotovs on the terrorist, so this is pretty much one. There's no way he can win this. He doesn't even have a kit. Like, it's not going to be possible.
Yeah, he will go down. Ultimately, you know, when you kind of look at it, the economy, and Misfits, I wouldn't really have benefited from him saving, and I guess he wanted to try and, you know, pick up maybe a round or just do the damage.
Oh, Simple. Simple just bought a gun. Oh, you dropped it. Oh, he's on it again. Oh. I think he's just trolling us right now.
Simple. Don't do this to me, no. Opting instead not to use the Negev, which, you know, with it. Oh, hang on. No. Taking the AWP instead. Looking to try and capitalize on his spawn as he actually makes his way out towards A main. Try to find this first, but he does miss the initial shot. But he's going to be given an opportunity to try and turn things around as the peak comes through from Davidovec. Sick and Shazam out here towards A as well. Amanek playing the rotate role in through connector, but Sean Garris, he's going aggressive over at B. That's going to give them a lot of information that B's actually clear for once, but information's one thing, frags are another, and Simple knows a lot about that. Picking up one and a second, down goes Sick. Shazam next to fall. It's all on Amanek and Sean Garris, and Sean Garris rotating all the way around from B, desperately trying to help out Amanek best he can. But Flamey is here, the punisher of these ecoing players.
Yeah, and talking about like a guy who punishes, just Simple. He's just such a complete player. Plays rifle perfectly, then picks up a different weapon. This round is going to be an AWP, and just instantly goes for the two entry frag, or the first entry frag and then the refrag after that. It's just perfect from Simple, and it's just one of these performances. Like, he's 19-11 right now, and it's not even like one of his like good performances. This is like the average Simple, and he's just absolutely wrecking faces right now. So, Sean Garris, 1v4, of course, not gonna really try his luck. He has that CSET 75, trying to see if he can find a T lurking about somewhere, but no, he's not gonna be able to do that. And Na'Vi takes yet another round, and now they're just one away from taking the victory over Misfits. A victory that all the analyst desk agreed on, we agreed on here on the desk as well, and it seems like the story would go as probably we would expect it to go, with Na'Vi, as Pim said, winning comfortably.
Yeah, I was hoping to see a little bit more from Misfits, but ultimately the rounds they did get were fairly close, you know, like the ones that even Na'Vi picked out. So, you know, we've seen a nice performance from them, but I do think this is one that was initially, we always thought Na'Vi would win. Sean Garris is going to try and prove us wrong as he goes aggressive, backed up by Amanek, but they only get 2 frags between them, putting it into a 3-on-3 as the trades do come in. The only thing is this time they've got a lot of information to play off on the side of Misfits. You can see they've rotated DreamHack and Sick already. Around over here towards B, Simple on the entry with the AWP, does miss that first shot. There's still potential for him to get the ace. And it's just been taken away from him here. No, actually hasn't. Still going strong. On 3 frags, got to watch out. And actually lands the flick shot. Simple, okay. Now 1 frag away from picking this up. And what a way for them to end this potentially. In comes Shazam. And he doesn't want to offer this one up on a silver platter, but Simple, he doesn't care for table man. It's just going to take it anyway. Watching him, it actually goes in for the flick. He's so low on HP and will go down. Shazam denies the ace and also could still pick up the round as he turns it into a 1-on-1. Bomb's going to go down out towards the A. Bomb site seized, still with 100 HP. Plants the bomb for Pop Dog. Now can just fade away into relative safety. Does have a Molotov to play around with. Can completely deny this defuse coming in from Shazam, who doesn't even have a kit, so he's got to pick up the frag. It is pivotal and seized. He'll say no to that. That'll be Na'Vi to pick up that first one. 16-5. A very dominant performance from them, and well, a good try from Misfits, but I do think it was exactly what was expected.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Simple in the end coming out with a monster round, getting that 4K, pretty much winning the round and therefore winning the game for his team. Really nice performance by him. Nice performance by Na'Vi in general. They have looked shaky online prior to this. Them coming in, grabbing a confidence win, 16-5.
Yeah.
Like, they should have won this either way. Like, it's not even a discussion. But getting a win in a 16-5 style, that's going to be doing a lot for their confidence. That's also getting the claps from the fans, of course, in the venue. But as they progress through this tournament, it's very important to get a good start if you haven't done well online recently. And them coming in now, winning 16-5, that's the best start they could probably have asked for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, the rounds did go fairly close when you look at it. And, you know, we could have seen Misfits pick up a couple more. And in all honesty, there were some of them which were so down to the wire. I think we could have easily seen Misfits maybe pick up potentially 9, even 10 rounds had a couple of things gone differently. And ultimately, I feel like that could have been a lot worse for Na'Vi's morale. But they looked confident. It looked clean. They weren't struggling. I mean, Simple was buying the auto shotgun. He didn't really care, okay? You know, for him, this was, you know, just the calm before the storm. You know, the brunt of the event still yet to come. But a good performance, I do feel like, from both sides. Yeah,
also the thing that I have to say, like, with Misfits in this scenario is when it comes down to 1v1s, some of the players who have more stage experience, who have more experience in 1v1s as handling that 1v1 pressure, that's just Na'Vi. So if you can't win 1v1s in a stage like this, it's not going to be your game to win anyways. But they did a good job getting into the 1v1s. And that's some of the things that I have to say positively about Misfits, is that they looked well drilled. It was not a part of, like, it was not the infrastructure or their strats or the decision-making that lost in this game. Yeah. That was actually as good as we could have expected, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, what was kind of you know, what we saw, we didn't really see much, sadly, from Misfits, but you did accredit them saying that you like some of the decisions they did make when they approached it from a more tactical perspective. What would you say was kind of the defining thing for them that really worked, and then what didn't work, you know?
Oh, I would say their first of all, the Atex was actually quite impressive. Multiple times they got into a 1v1, and in a match where you're the underdog, that's actually a really good scenario to get into. Also, the one round where they bought pistols and they still got into like a bomb planet situation, holding the angle, stuff like that. So the beginning of the rounds, if they're not going for straight peaks, it's actually really good. And then their decision making and also making the time run out, trying to use that Na'Vi style, that slow style, is something that I don't see a lot of North American teams do these days.
Yeah.
But seeing Misfits do them is actually a really like kind of a fresh experience to see that. Also, they have some interesting players. Like Sam is someone that you don't really talk a lot about aim-wise, but he was actually on point some of the times, especially also in that pistol round where he got 3K. So there's some positives to be mentioned, of course.
And, you know, we can talk about it all we like, but the best way to hear it is along with James over on the stage, who is going to be speaking with the players right now.
Thanks very much, guys. I am here with Guardian. Firstly, congratulations. A very convincing win. Were some of the rounds there a little bit closer than you expected? There was a lot of 2v2s, a lot of 3v3s, a lot of times where it seemed like they kind of surprised you at some points?
I would say from the beginning they tried to destroy economy, so it was very close rounds. Like the situation rounds 1v2, 1v1, and we won them. And they got like 2 rounds, so we had to eco, and we had 1 eco, and yeah, from that point I think we were the stronger team, and we just finished the game from that point.
You guys were very strong holding B. Seized was in on B. Flamey normally plays in that position, I heard backstage. Is there a reason why you've switched that up?
I think Seized is more like he knows how to gather information, so it's much better to play Seized on B. So that's why we decided to put him on B, and Flamey is more like a support player, so he's helping A and he's helping B. So it's much better now, and we have more information, so that's why it changed.
It's great. It's great. Talking about information, you've got a relatively new coach behind you in the form of Andy. How is that going? Is there many differences, many improvements you've seen from the fact you've got this new coach behind you?
I think a lot of changes went on. So he's more responsible. He's taking everything on himself, and he's working like 15 hours a day. He's watching demos. He's analyzing our game. He's doing everything. So he's pretty good, and hopefully we'll do better.
Yeah, it must be amazing to have that kind of support. Well, very, very convincing start, very strong start. Good luck for the rest of the group stages. And I will hand it back over to Parla and the analysis desk to sum up that game and see what we've coming up next.
Dare I say it, guys, that match was a bit of a bad fit.
Yep.
I'm here all weekend, yes. So, Na'Vi have... quite dominant, in quite a dominant fashion, beaten the Misfits. Hopefully the Misfits can bounce back later in the competition, but for now, it is a story about Na'Vi and what they did right. Jacob, what did you see in that matchup?
I saw what I expected from Na'Vi. They literally were the stronger team, as mentioned by both the casters and James on the stage. Like, it was close rounds, but when it comes down to those 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s, 1-on-1s, Na'Vi is simply just have the better players and are simply just the better team, you know. And if you're a team like Misfits, you gotta win those rounds, and you gotta break the economy of Na'Vi more than once in a game to win that, and they didn't manage to. So Na'Vi were simply just the better team in this game.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say they got outclassed, Misfits did, but at the same time, I think the positives they can take away from it is the fact that they managed to put themselves in those situations that are winnable, the 2-on-2s, the 3-on-3s, so their initial strategy, the way they played out the rounds actually worked, and they managed to keep it relatively close and potentially be able to get to a bomb site and even get the bomb down a bunch of times. So that goes to show you that going further, you know, you're going to have that confidence of playing against teams that don't have the kind of individuals as Na'Vi do. They might be able to convert those into actual round wins. And, you know, we saw them having a lot of diversity, but they played methodically a lot of times, meaning like they would take over Ivy first of all, try to find a fight there and make it a 5-on-4 advantage, and then go back to maybe go down pop dock and try to pinch into the outer bomb side, or then fake outer and go inner bomb side. Then we saw them do a lot of fast tactics as well, just plowing the first to the inner bomb side in the first weapon round where they faked outside a little bit. So a lot of variety, something you would expect from a team that has Sean Garris and has Peacemaker in it. But yeah, that little defining moments there in the close rounds is where the difference went to Na'Vi, and they were just better at them.
Shazam did, in fact, have the strongest game on his side here. I think he finished with 17 kills, but unfortunately not a difference maker here. Was there anything else that stood out about Misfits that you guys could highlight? Because it did seem like we've already sort of spoken about slightly that they were coordinated. Peacemaker is obviously having an influence on the team, and I'd be interesting to hear from them how the dynamic works between Peacemaker and Sean Gares, because of course Sean Gares being one of the most storied US in-game leaders, how their relationship works and how the calls are being made.
Yeah, I think knowing Peacemaker, he's my former coach, he wants his system to be implemented. And I don't know Shangaris, but I could imagine he has had his way to call it his entire career, you know, so there might be some classes. But I also believe that if you can find a middle ground between those two, then there's potential for something great. And as Nacho pointed out more than once, you know, it's they got down to those close rounds, you know. It wasn't the game plan, it wasn't the tactic that they failed on, it was simply just the fact that they were outclassed by better players, by a better team when they came down to the 1-on-1s, the 2-on-2s, the 3-on-3s, you know. So their game plan seemed to work, you know.
Yeah.
And when you face a team like, let's say they go up against Heroic or Mousesports in the next game, they lose of that one, that's not as skilled as Na'Vi, you know. So if they can win some of those 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, and actually break the economy of the opposite team, then you might have a close game on your hand.
Natu, any final thoughts before we go to a break?
Well, I mean, Na'Vi going over this hurdle after having a tough time recently online, getting wrecked by LDLC, getting absolutely wrecked by or taken down by Mousesports. Now, getting that first win always very important, and them, you know, just showing dominance in a way. Still, you know, it's a good thing for them. At the same time, Misfits, you know, don't throw the towel in yet. You got something in you. I think they still have a crack at it, like Pimp here was saying.
100%, and I think we've been fair in how we've looked at that match, but I'm hoping to see a resurgence from Misfits, Shazam and Sean Gares. I like to share jokes with them sometimes, but guys, come on. Let's pick it up and see what you have up next. But in the overall competition, what we have next, it's going to be G2 versus Tricked. But right now, we are going to head to a break. Do not go anywhere.